So I want to address a rumor. I've heard from multiple different people that a cranial prosthesis is just the same as a wig, and that is not the case. A big reason if you want to be a cranial prosthesis specialist is to know the difference and educate your clients, because this is the difference between gaining a client or losing a client. Maybe they have some sort of stigma attached to wigs. This is how you lose people who really do need your services. You want to be able to have other options for them. Sometimes it's not always a cranial prosthesis. We also offer medical units or customized units. We still offer a great amount of customization features, and these are things that you should be able to provide as well if that's the area you're trying to go in. It's important to know where you want to be at in the industry, because it's going to depend on who your vendor is. There are a lot of medical wig vendors out there, but they're not all the same. Some of them have synthetic hair options, others have human hair options. The synthetic hair options that are out there, like Rachel Welch, she's the one that I see a lot. That's normally going to match Caucasian women. It's not necessarily tailored towards a Black woman's curl pattern. If you decide you want to go with human hair, you need to have a good relationship with your vendor. There needs to be able to be a good back and forth about the different customization features, about the different caps, the constructions. These are all things that make it different. First, something basic. A cranial prosthesis is made for someone with medical hair loss. While someone who has medical hair loss can have a wig, it's not made for them in mind. A big difference is cap construction, or just construction in general. So normally a wig that you find in your wig boutique, or even if you get it from a vendor off of WhatsApp, it doesn't really have all those special types of features. You don't really have to worry about what the material of the cap is made of, if it's hyperallergenic, anything like that. They ask you, what's the circumference? What length do you want? What density do you want? And that's really it. So a cranial prosthesis, normally the thickest that it goes is 130% density. One big thing that I've noticed is that people with hair normally want a wig with a lot of density. Women who are coming from not having hair or having lost their hair normally want a lower, more realistic density. They don't really want people in their business, right? Because where they're coming from is, I don't want to look sick. You don't want to stand out. You don't need all the extra volume. You just want to look like yourself. Another big difference is the fit of the cap. Even if they're able to find a wig that fits the circumference, this area right here, that's where the fit ends. There's a lot of bunching, a lot of gapping, and that is very uncomfortable just in general if you're wearing something on your head all the time. When you think about a cranial prosthesis, you should be offering multiple different ways to take accurate measurements. It is always good to get a head mold as well. This would also require you to have a vendor that also does wig making. They can make wigs from scratch. Whoever is your vendor, you have to have a good and open relationship with them. They have to be open to customization, and they have to understand how important it is for them to get it right what they're doing. A lot of the time, making such a customized unit takes a while. A basic cranial prosthesis normally takes about 3 to 4 months to make. Now, a customized unit can take a little bit less time, right? Especially if you have a wig maker on hand. You want to prepare your clients for a long amount of time though, because even if the wig maker is able to make something or do a turnover in anywhere between 1 to 3 weeks, you always want to have a client come back in and do extra custom fittings. Okay, like, how does this fit? Is there still bunching back there? Is this too dense? Like, whatever customization features that you can change or that you can do before the client takes their unit home, that's the best thing that you could do. Materials, big thing. So yes, you can get a full lace wig. Yes, you can get a frontal wig. Yes, you can get a 555. Yes, you can get a satin base, right? But a lot of the times the materials aren't always made to be hyperallergenic. The cranial prosthesis, even if we have it on a customized unit, we found a cap that works really well with a bald scalp. If you're gonna go and you're gonna have something more traditional, right? Like maybe you're not gonna use one of the traditional cranial prosthesis caps. After doing your consultation, you realize that your recommendations fall more in line with a more traditional cap. You still want to add all those different customizations that I spoke about before. Another big thing to take into account is breathability. So someone who has different scalp irregularities that can come from lupus or psoriasis, they're gonna need a cranial prosthesis. Someone who has psoriasis and tries to wear a wig will probably have a lot of issues. It's made with a lot of different products that normally cause some sort of irritation. Wigs just aren't made with that in mind. One of the last but huge big differentiations is that a cranial prosthesis should be able to stay on without any type of adhesive, right? There are different types of caps. They have the polyurethane, they have the mesh, they have a mix of more traditional looking units along with the mesh or the silicone gripping. These features are used to make it so that a client doesn't have to put any type of adhesive. I know that almost all of our clients who have cancer don't want anything extra toxic being put on them, which is made with those with medical conditions in mind. So that's it. Those are just a few of the things that I wanted to pass along. This also segues into how you protect yourself from exploitation. And if you're a cranial prosthesis specialist, this also sort of segues into the things that you need to know so that you're a reputable supplier.